If you're over 60, there's something most people never realize about their arteries until it's too late: the foods you eat every single day. The small habits you repeat without thinking. They can slowly affect the health of your blood vessels, and the dangerous part is this process is silent, no pain, no warning, until one day it shows up as high blood pressure, chest discomfort, or something far more serious. But what if one simple kitchen ingredient, something that costs less than two, could actually support your artery health in a natural way? Because what I'm about to share with you isn't just theory, it's based on real patterns I've seen again and again in older patients, and the next part is even more important. 3 of the things I'm going to explain today are already sitting in your kitchen right now, and if you're over 60, they could either support your heart or quietly work against it, depending on how you use them. This is where most people make a mistake. They focus only on medications, but ignore the daily choices that slowly shape their health over time. I'm a doctor. Over the years, I've worked closely with seniors who did everything they were told, took their medications, followed basic advice, and still struggled with their heart health, not because they were careless, but because no one explained the small, everyday factors that actually make a difference. That's why in this video, I'm going to break down one powerful, low-cost kitchen ingredient that may help support artery health naturally, along with a few other things that could either help or harm you if you're not careful. Let's start with the ingredient that surprises most people. The next one is even more important. Number 1, garlic. Garlic is something almost everyone has in their kitchen. It's cheap, easy to use, and often added for flavor. But what many people don't realize is that garlic contains compounds like allicin, which may support blood vessel health and circulation. This is where most people make a mistake. They either don't use garlic consistently, or they cook it in a way that reduces its effectiveness. When garlic is crushed or chopped and left for a few minutes before cooking, it activates certain beneficial compounds. But when it's overcooked or processed heavily, some of those benefits may decrease, and the next one is even more dangerous. Artery health is not just about cholesterol, it's about inflammation, blood flow, how flexible your blood vessels remain over time. Some research suggests that garlic may help support healthy blood pressure and reduce oxidative stress, which plays a role in artery stiffness. I remember a patient in his early 70s who started adding small amounts of fresh garlic to his meals regularly. Combined with other healthy habits, he noticed improvements in his overall energy and better control over his blood pressure. It wasn't a miracle, but it was a meaningful shift. Studies have shown that regular garlic consumption may support cardiovascular health, especially when combined with a balanced diet. But again, this is not a cure, it's support. What should you do instead? Use fresh garlic in moderation, crush it and let it sit for a few minutes before cooking. Include it as part of a heart-friendly diet, because what we're about to discuss next is something that can quietly damage your arteries if you're not careful. The next one is even more dangerous. Number 2, refined sugar. Sugar is everywhere. In tea, in snacks, in packaged foods, and many seniors consume it daily without realizing how it affects their body over time. It's not just about weight gain. Sugar can contribute to inflammation and metabolic changes that impact artery health. This is where most people don't realize the risk. Excess sugar in the bloodstream can lead to the formation of harmful compounds that damage the inner lining of blood vessels. Over time, this can contribute to stiffness and reduced flexibility in the arteries. And the next one is even more dangerous. Unlike immediate symptoms, this process happens slowly. You don't feel it happening, but over months and years it builds up, affecting circulation and increasing cardiovascular risk. I once had a patient who believed his diet was healthy, but he added sugar to almost everything: tea, cereals, even fruits. When he reduced his sugar intake, along with other changes, his overall health markers improved noticeably. What should you do instead? Reduce added sugar as much as possible. Choose natural sources when needed and focus on whole foods, because the next one is something many people think is healthy, but it can become harmful if used the wrong way. Now let's continue, because the next few items are where things become even more important. Most seniors don't realize that it's not just about adding one good ingredient like garlic. It's also about removing or correcting the everyday habits that slowly damage your arteries over time. And the next one is even more dangerous. Number 3, vegetable oils. Vegetable oils like soybean oil, sunflower oil, and corn oil are widely used in daily cooking. Many people believe they are heart-friendly simply because they are labeled as such. But this is where most people make a mistake. When these oils are overheated or reused multiple times, they can break down and form harmful compounds. known as oxidized lipids. These compounds may contribute to inflammation in the body, and inflammation is one of the key drivers of artery damage over time. And the next one is even more dangerous. After the age of 60, your body becomes less efficient at handling oxidative stress. That means these damaged compounds can have a stronger impact on your blood vessels, making them stiffer and less flexible. I once worked with a patient who regularly reused cooking oil to save money. It seemed harmless to him, but over time his cholesterol profile and inflammatory markers worsened. Once he switched to fresh oil and avoided reheating it, his condition improved gradually. Research suggests that repeatedly heated oils can negatively affect cardiovascular health, especially when consumed regularly. What should you do instead? Use fresh oil in small amounts, avoid deep frying, and never reuse oil multiple times. When possible, choose healthier cooking methods like steaming or light. Because the next one is something almost everyone uses daily, and it may be quietly working against your arteries. The next one is even more dangerous. Number 4, processed salt. Salt is essential for the body, but too much of it, especially from processed foods, can create serious problems over time. Many seniors are advised to watch their salt intake, but the real issue is not just the salt you add, it's the hidden sodium in packaged foods. This is where most people make a mistake. They reduce table salt, but continue consuming high-sodium foods like snacks, pickles, sauces, and ready-made meals. These hidden sources add up quickly, and the next one is even more dangerous. Excess sodium can increase blood pressure, which puts extra strain on your arteries. Over time, this pressure can damage the inner lining of blood vessels, making them more prone to stiffness and narrowing. I had a patient who was very careful with his diet. He avoided adding salt to his food, but he consumed packaged soups and snacks daily. Once we identified the hidden sodium sources and reduced them, his blood pressure improved significantly. Studies have consistently shown that high sodium intake is linked to increased cardiovascular risk, especially in older adults. What should you do instead? Limit processed foods, read labels carefully, and use natural herbs and spices for flavor instead of excess salt, because what we're about to discuss next is something many people think is harmless, but it can slowly affect your arteries over time. Number 5. White bread and refined carbohydrates. White bread, pastries, and other refined carbohydrates are common in many diets. They are easy to eat, easy to digest, and often preferred for convenience. But this is where most people don't realize the impact. Refined carbohydrates can cause rapid spikes in blood sugar levels. Over time, these repeated spikes may contribute to insulin resistance and metabolic changes that affect artery health, and the next one is even more dangerous. These changes can lead to the buildup of harmful substances in the bloodstream that damage blood vessels and promote inflammation. After 60, your body becomes more sensitive to these fluctuations, making the effects more pronounced. I once treated a patient who relied heavily on white bread for most meals. It was simple and convenient for him, but after switching to whole grains and balanced meals, his energy levels improved and his blood sugar became more stable. Research suggests that diets high in refined carbohydrates are associated with increased risk of cardiovascular issues, especially when combined with other factors. What should you do instead? Choose whole grains, balance your meals with protein and fiber, and avoid excessive intake of refined foods, because now, we're moving into the most important part: what you should actually do starting today to protect your arteries and your long-term health. Now that you've seen what can quietly damage your arteries, the most important question becomes this: what actually works? Because knowing what to avoid is only half the picture. The real power comes from understanding what to do every single day to support your heart and protect your blood vessels over time. This is where most people make a mistake. They look for one miracle solution, one pill, one ingredient, one shortcut, but artery health doesn't work that way. It's built slowly through consistent daily habits, and that $2 ingredient we talked about earlier, garlic, can help, but only if it's part of a bigger, smarter routine. And the next step is even more important. Let's build a simple, practical system that you can actually follow. First, focus on daily anti-inflammatory habits. Inflammation is one of the biggest drivers of artery damage. This means reducing processed foods, limiting sugar, and adding more natural, whole ingredients to your meals. Small changes like adding garlic, vegetables, and healthy fats can make a noticeable difference over time. Second, pay attention to blood pressure and circulation. High blood pressure puts constant stress on your arteries. Even if you feel fine, silent pressure can slowly weaken your blood vessels. That's why regular monitoring is important, especially after 60, and the next one is even more powerful. Third, stay physically active even in simple ways. You don't need intense exercise. A daily 20–30 minute walk can improve circulation, support heart health, and help maintain flexible arteries. Movement is one of the most underrated tools for long-term health. This is where most people don't realize the impact. Fourth, stay properly hydrated. Dehydration can make your blood thicker and harder to circulate, which puts extra strain on your heart and arteries. Many seniors don't drink enough water throughout the day, and this simple habit can quietly affect overall health, and the next one is even more dangerous if ignored. Fifth, manage stress levels. Chronic stress triggers hormonal changes that can increase blood pressure and inflammation. Over time, this creates a harmful environment for your arteries. Simple practices like deep breathing, relaxation, or spending time outdoors can help more than most people expect. I remember a patient who focused only on medications but ignored lifestyle factors. Once he started walking daily, improving his diet, and managing stress, his overall health improved significantly. It wasn't overnight, but it was real and lasting. Research consistently shows that lifestyle changes can have a powerful impact on cardiovascular health, especially when maintained over time. But now comes the part most people overlook. Sixth, be consistent, not perfect. You don't need to change everything at once. Even small improvements, repeated daily, can create meaningful results over months and years, because now, everything comes down to what you do next. Now that you've seen both sides, the foods and habits that can quietly damage your arteries, and the simple steps that can support them, the most important thing is this: what you do consistently from today forward will matter far more than anything you've done in the past, because your body is always responding, always adapting, and even after 60, positive changes can still make a real difference. This is where most people make a mistake. They watch information like this, feel motivated for a day or two, and then slowly go back to old habits. But artery health doesn't change in a single day. It improves quietly, just like it declines quietly. The difference is consistency, and the next step is even more important. Let's turn everything into a simple, clear checklist you can follow. First, start with your kitchen. Look at what you use daily. Reduce refined sugar, avoid reheating oils, limit processed foods, and begin adding small amounts of fresh garlic into your meals. Not as a miracle cure, but as part of a smarter, balanced diet. Second, clean up hidden risks. Check labels for sodium, reduce packaged foods, and avoid reheating meals multiple times. These small adjustments remove the daily stress you unknowingly place on your body. Third, build one strong habit: movement. Even a short walk every day can improve blood flow and support your heart. You don't need intensity, you need consistency, and the next one is even more powerful. Fourth, monitor your health regularly. Keep track of your blood pressure, energy levels, and how your body feels. These are early signals that help you stay ahead of problems instead of reacting too late. Fifth, simplify your routine. The more complicated a plan is, the harder it is to follow. Focus on a few key habits and repeat them daily. This is where most people don't realize the truth. There is no single ingredient that cleans your arteries overnight, but there are daily choices that either support your body or slowly work against it. Garlic, diet, movement, hydration together, they create an environment where your body can function better. And now, one very important warning before we close. Do not stop any medications or change your treatment plan without consulting your doctor. This video is meant to guide and inform, not replace professional medical advice. Every individual is different, and your care should always be personalized, because at the end of the day, your goal is not just to live longer, it's to live better, with energy, clarity, and independence. Now I want to hear from you. Comment below. Do you already use garlic in your daily routine? Or is there one habit you're going to change starting today? Your answer might inspire someone else to take action. And if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe, because every week we break down complex health topics into simple, practical advice designed specifically for people over 60, and the next video might surprise you even more. We're going to reveal 7 everyday habits that are secretly raising your blood pressure and how to fix them before they cause serious damage, because sometimes the biggest health risks are not obvious. They're the small things we repeat every single day without thinking. Stay aware, stay consistent, and take control of your health one simple step at a time.